What's going on, fam? Happy Christmas Eve to those of you who celebrate, to those of you who don't. Happy tomorrow off, because maybe you have that off. I'm not going to take much of your time today. What is going on? See, the internets were fine yesterday and today they wrong. I'm not going to take up much of your time today, but I noticed something, a controversy, if you will. And I just wanted to take maybe about 10 minutes or 15, depending, to have a conversation about the controversy. Now, for those of you who see, this is the controversy. Lizzo responds to social media commentary. Notice it didn't say financial analyst or Dr. Boyce Watkins or financial nothing. They threw him a lot of shade. Social media commentator who said she owes fame to obesity epidemic in America. Now, let me just say something, fam. I want you to just pay close attention to that headline, because I want to talk about something that is very, 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 very serious. Let me bring that out. Okay. Now, I want everybody to kind of backtrack. Just backtrack for a minute. Just backtrack for 1 second. Just backtrack for a minute. Let me turn this off so I can. Okay, there we go. All right. I know some of you remember, right? So you have to see, you gotta peg people when they start doing crazy stuff. How many of you remember that just like, what was it, last week or the week before last, we were dragging Boyce about being part of a Ghanaian finesse, right? We were talking about how he was a part of a finesse. Now let's talk about it, and let's talk about some of the stuff we done found out. We done found out not only the stuff that I talked about, but that Boris Kojo is a part of a whole, and he's half Ghanaian, half German, and they're all trying to bring ADOS there to be a part of the tourism industry, but it doesn't go, it just goes that way. So we're sending money to them, there's no exchange. So we figured that out. Him and what did I call him? Light-skinned civil rights brother he was with, they were part of a finesse. Now, what do you do, family? What do you do when you get home and figure out, oh my gosh, I was over there and they was naming me all kind of kings, and I found out that they done named white people kings too. This ain't nothing. They done brought me over here and embarrassed me. Now, what do you do, family? I just have a question. What do you do if you figure out that you did something and you got kind of finessed yourself? You was trying to finesse and they was finessing you at the same time. They told you they gave you land and they told you they did all this stuff for you. And you was talking about that. You was talking about they gave me some land. They gave me a new name. My name is blah, 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 blah. You said all of that. Now that was just a minute ago. So I'm very suspicious. I'm very suspicious, family, when somebody who just went through all of that comes out and says, oh, I have a problem with Lizzo now. She's just a big fat da 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 da. Now, pump your brakes for 1 second. I have no problem with anybody criticizing Lizzo. I don't think anybody is above criticism, and I myself have had some problems with like some of the Instagrams. You got this white lady popping bottles and putting the champagne in your mouth, and then you spit all the champagne out, okay? I remember, I don't know if everybody remembers, but I certainly remember. How many of you all remember when Liz, let me bring this up bigger. When she got this young lady in trouble, and I think the young lady is suing her now because she accused her of stealing her food. How many remember? Right? So what I'm trying to say is that I am not here to stand and just say, I'm standing for Lizzo or whatever. That's what happens. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying to you is that this is a distraction. Boyce got himself caught up in something that he couldn't get himself caught out of. He got his butt in a sling and he couldn't get himself out of the sling. So he said, well, what do I do? How do I handle this? How do I figure this out? Somebody help me, please. So he decided, well, I'm just going to attack Lizzo. Now, I don't have a problem, like I said, with criticism. Part of my problem, though, is Boyce is the wrong person to say it because he has a problem with black women. I don't care that his fiance is black. He has a problem. And he's not the right person to say it. Because Boyce is reaching. What Boyce always does is what he's doing right now. Boyce doesn't have he doesn't have it. He doesn't have enough content himself, and he's not willing to do the work to create the kind of content that you need to do to engage people on YouTube. That's why he's always hired me or Michi or Maria Lloyd or now Vicky Dillon. He always has to hire somebody else and put somebody else on his platform because he can't do it. He's inept. On my platform, it's me. It's me talking. People call in, but most of the time it's me talking. Boyce can't do that because he doesn't have the kind of engagement to get people talking. So the only thing he can do is create controversy. And it's never controversy that is intended to be constructive. It is destructive. Just to take attention away from what he did last week. That's all it is. I don't have a problem with anybody I criticized Jay-Z, but I didn't do it like Boyce. I said he ain't deep, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you how buying art is not going to do what you are talking about for ADOS. Let me tell you why what you're saying is a problem. That's not what Boyce did, though. Boyce likes to, and he likes to hit like this. Defending Lizzo and her right to shake her obese, high cholesterol ASS in front of white men for money is hardly a way we can best serve the interests of the black woman. While she gets all the attention intelligent sisters can't get on a goddamn show. Well, here's the issue. It's not just white men. Part of Lizzo's initial base was like white gay men. So you can talk about how Lizzo plays to the white gays. And you can talk about that not only in terms of art. You can take that conversation all the way to politics. How even the people involved in our politics play to that. There is a conversation to be had it. The problem is Boyce is not deep enough to have the conversation that we're about to have. And he is not trying to even have that conversation. He's just trying to take attention away from the fact that I was a part of a Ghanaian finesse last week. That's what he's trying to do. And let me just say this. Let me just say this really quickly. I can't stand people who the high cholesterol and high blood pressure stuff was unneeded. I personally did not like the way Lizzo went to the game. There were kids at the game and you went to the game with your butt out. I had a problem with it. But I am not. What is Lizzo, 31? Lizzo, I think is like 30, 31, right? When Boyce was 31, he was big. He was overweight. He was eating pizza. Going through fast foods. I knew Boyce before y'all did. Going through fast food drive-ins. He was a big fella. Don't y'all always hate the person who loses weight and then the moment they lose weight, I don't know why you eating that. I wouldn't eat that if I were you. See, that's the whole problem with the black community is what we eat. You just lost weight 10 minutes ago. You can't call nobody high cholesterol. I don't know if your cholesterol done went down yet, boys, from what you all used to eat. Do you remember telling me at one point, well, I guess I'm just going to have to die like this because I love me some good food. I love fast food. And I'm happy that somebody changed your mind. I'm happy that somebody came into your life and did for you what you couldn't do. Maybe in terms of Lizzo's health, somebody will come and do that. Because we both know you couldn't do it by yourself. You didn't have the discipline or the will. Now, how can you say that she should do something that you couldn't do until this black woman came into your life? Maybe a black woman or a black man will come into her life. Because you needed that. You could never have done it alone. You were not that person. We know that, right? You want to talk what we know about each other because you never knew me, but I always knew you. And I know what you're doing right now is not about the conversation. What you are doing right now is taking attention off of you. There is a way to have this conversation about how we all in this space, black intellectuals, black public intellectuals, black artists, how we play to a white gaze. There is a way to talk about what Lizzo does in terms of how she allows herself to be seen and to be heard And the way let me see if I can find this other image that I want to bring up. There's a way to do all of this. Like, there's a way to criticize. There's a way to criticize, like this Happy Juneteenth. When you see what's here is fried chicken and fruit punch and Fanta, and there's a way to talk about, is this healthy, and are you behaving in a way that you think you're doing something? That you think you're being the person that white people want to see, as opposed to the person that you want to be, as opposed to your best self. Are you engaging, in terms of, are you allowing yourself to be made into a caricature that they are entertained by, as opposed to being your truest self and the best self that you can be? There's a way to have this conversation. There's a way to have this debate. There's a way to engage Lizzo on this. But Boyce isn't trying to do that. He's an agent of distraction. And right now what he's trying to distract away from is the fact that he was over there in Ghana doing stuff don't make no sense. Right? That's all I'm saying. There's a way to... let me just say this one more time. There's a way to criticize her. There's a way to do it. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it. I'm not saying that I don't think anybody, even me, I don't think I'm above criticism. I don't think any of that. And I don't think Lizzo is either. I think you can do that, but that's not what you're trying to do. See, sometimes what we have to understand, I'm pulling up something real quick. But sometimes what we have to understand is there's a way to have criticism, but the person who is doing the criticism isn't the right person to do it, right? See, Boyce went to Ghana and he was like, they made me a chief and they made me all this stuff. And they make white people that too, Boyce, but you don't want to talk about that. You home now. And you don't want to talk about the mistakes that you made. You don't want to talk about what you did, right? That's not a conversation that you want to have. So you want to talk about Lizzo. And let me show you another problem that I have. Boyce always calls black women angry. Oh my God, Lizzo tweeted me today because she's angry. Here's what she said. See, the problem with that is that Boyce antagonizes people. That's almost like when he talks about me and says, well, Yvette talked about me because she's angry. Yeah, because you've been tweeting about me on and I'm clapping back and now you're angry. No, don't be that kind of man. Be a real man and just take it. You said something about her. Now she said something about you. Now y'all gonna go back and forth. Don't say she's angry. She's angry because you was talking. Don't get mad because she's talking. How you gonna get mad if you fighting and the other person punch you back? You jab them and they cross them. Well, now you mad? Yes. Stop gaslighting black women, because you use black women to sustain your site anyway. That's a majority of the people who are on your site, because you don't have the talent, to actually bring people. You don't do research. You talk about finance and then you run and talk about everything else. I don't even want to be here talking about this. I just feel like, because politics is my lane. I try to stay in my lane. But what I realize is that Boyce is just using this conversation to take attention away from the failure of his ability to have discernment in terms of how he was being used for the people who were promoting Ghanaian tourism. And so you just come back and be like, what can I talk about? I got to talk about something. Got to do something. This is going to be bad. Lizzo, she's fat. I got to talk about her. And she makes a bad. Okay, that's fine. This is not the way to have that conversation. Because, Boyce, everybody, half of the people already hate you. And I know you're going to get, and then those, what? So we're going to have this whole conversation again. She's a mammy, okay? And the people who are criticizing her are going to be hoteps. And this is going to be mammy versus hotep, or whatever you want to call it, all over again. And that's not a productive conversation. And it's not productive, Boyce, because you're in the conversation. Let somebody, I've seen some helpful criticisms of Lizzo. Other people can do it. You just don't have the intellectual fortitude to do it, and you don't care enough to do it. You're not going to try to put together something and talk about what you would like to see. You're not going to do it in a way that's anyway helpful, because you don't really care about the black community, do you? You just try to get clicks, and you can't get clicks by doing real financial information. You've tried it, don't work. And you're not good. You're not even good at finance. You're not even good at data. You're not even good at accounting for somebody who's supposed to be finance. So it doesn't work for you. So you have to go and have these conversations. I just don't even understand. I think what we have to try to understand is that we need, and I try to be that. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. There's nobody who's perfect. But I try to provide smarter black commentary. I think what you have to understand is that as a group, as ADOS, you deserve better than Boyce. Doesn't mean that there should be somebody better and smarter to provide this kind of commentary in a way that is helpful. Like I said, when I did the Jay-Z commentary, I tried to do it in a way that was helpful and was built on the data. And we all get better with time. But Boyce is just out for Boyce. And he's just trying to do something, to do what he did, to get attention, to get media and talk about, it's easy once you finally lost weight, boys. You used to be a big boy. It's easy once you finally lose weight to say, we take toxic, why Lizzo is popular. We take toxic daily dysfunction and make it cool. All of us are worthy of blah, 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 blah. But we should not encourage our people to be unhealthy. Boys, I remember you when you were really unhealthy. I remember you when you didn't eat vegetables. I remember when you used to just go through the McDonald's drive-thru. Like what you're saying right now is just, you're awful. And you don't have compelling thoughts. You need people to try to have something compelling because you don't have those thoughts on your own. And at 31, which is I think Lizzo's age, that's who you were. You were eating all the stuff. You're just a man and it did different things to your body than it does to Lizzo's body. There's a whole biochemistry of it. I'm just saying. And what's going to happen here? Nothing's going to get resolved. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. And I'm going to end it on this. Boyce always loses fights and then sets himself up to fight another day. So nothing's going to get resolved. The people who hate Boyce. And the people who hate Lizzo. And there's not going to be any kind of conversation because the messenger is all wrong. There are criticisms. I have had my criticisms about what she's doing, how she's doing it. Right? And that's valid. It's valid. Nobody, like I said, I just want to stress this. Nobody is above criticism. And Boyce even does this kind of stuff with people he says he likes in terms of clickbait. And I'll talk about this. I may talk about it tomorrow. Dr. Claude Anderson was on the Breakfast Club. Now, that is supposed to be Dr. Claude Anderson's moment. Right? Boyce has him on a video saying, hey, tell me what you told the Breakfast Club. I don't know how many people do media, but what you're doing is stepping on the man's limelight. Because you're supposed to come after the Breakfast Club and say, let's discuss what you said on the Breakfast Club. You're not supposed to stomp it out to the fact to where everybody already knows what he already said on the Breakfast Club. But that's who you are. You don't ever let your people shine. And I don't even know if Dr. Anderson understands that he's not letting you shine either. He steps in the way of everything you try to do and say. Boyce is out for Boyce. He should have said, hey, Breakfast Club interview is up. Let's talk about it now. You don't go before the interview unless you're Boyce and you want all the clicks for yourself. And that's who he is. That's what he does. Boyce does Boyce. Boyce looks out for Boyce. Boyce tries to find anything to have clicks for Boyce. And so I think we have to find, one of the things that we have to do a better job of finding is better messengers and more thoughtful people. Just saying somebody is big and has high cholesterol, that is not the way to have the conversation that needs to be had. There is a conversation to be had about Lizzo, but you're having it wrong. You're having it in the wrong way. And that's because you're you. That's because you don't do enough intellectual work. That's because you don't put enough energy into what you do and what you say before you start talking. And that's why this will only drive controversy. It will never create understanding for anyone, because Boyce is Boyce and he always will be Boyce. We deserve better thinkers. We deserve smarter people. We deserve more thoughtful people to provide the criticism that we need at this level. The last thing we need, is we talking about reparations and all this stuff, is to be spent here for a long time. And there's nothing wrong with criticizing art and people who do art, but there's a way to do it that's very smart. And the way Boyce does everything in his life is very dumb. Except using people. He can do that. He does a good game on that. I got caught up too. But that's all I want to say, fam. Please enjoy your holiday. Please have fun. Please rest. Let this be self-care. Take a bubble bath and just enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. You did good. You here. And hopefully you're healthy. If you're not healthy, rest helps everything. And so does water. So we will talk again soon, fam. Until next time. Until tomorrow, because there will be a Christmas show. So until tomorrow, chill out and enjoy your family or whatever.